Hello everyone, welcome to the 11th video of the Python beginner series, and in this video we will be learning about another Python loop, that is while loop. So before coming to the while loop, let us discuss what is basically a loop is. So as we have discussed in the previous video, a loop in Python is used to execute a given instructions or a set of instructions repeatedly. Similarly, in the previous video we have also learned about for loop, which is a loop that is used to execute basically iterate over a given sequence and execute the body of the loop for each value of the sequence. Similarly, we also have while loop in Python, but it is a bit different from for loop, but it does the same job as to repeatedly execute a given set of instructions. That is the instruction defined in the while loop body. Now let us quickly create a new file and save it as tutorial 11. Here, tutorial 11. Now, so as we have seen in the previous video, let us take an example. For example, if we want to print natural numbers from 1 to 5, so we can do that using for loop as for I in range 1 to, then here we have to define as 6, and then print I. Now, if I print, if I run the program here we can see that we are getting integers from 1 to 5, which is the desired result. Now, if we want to achieve the similar functionality using the while loop, then we will do something like this. So we will say while, and then we have to define some condition, or sorry, first we have to create basically a variable. So we can say I equals 1, then we can say while, then here we have to define the condition. For example, if we want to print numbers from 1 to 5, then we have to put a condition as I is less than equal to 5, and then print I, and then I equals I plus 1. Now let us run the program. Here we can see that we are getting the same output as we have got from the for loop, that is numbers from 1 to 5. So now let us see how while loop is working. So from here we can see that the syntax of the while loop is follows. We have to first give the keyword, that is while, then we have to simply define the condition and give a colon, and then after that we have to define the body of the while loop, that is denoted by the indentation. Now we have created a variable I which stores the value, that is the initial value, as 1, and then we have created a while loop here given the condition and these two statements. Now what will happen? First I will be assigned value as 1, then the program will come here and it will check for this condition, that is whether I is less than equal to 5 or not. Since the value of I is 1, hence the condition will be true. Hence, it will be printed, that is, print the value of I, and the value of I will be incremented by 1. So, I equals I plus 1, that means 2. Now, control will come again to the condition here. It will check whether 2 is less than equal to 5. Hence, since it is true, hence the body will be executed again. That means the value of 2 will be printed, and the value of I will be incremented by 1 again. This time it will be 2 plus 1, that is 3. Hence, the program will come again here, check the condition, run the code. This time it will be 4, and here it will check 4 is less than equal to 5. It will be true also, hence the value of 4 will also be printed and it will be incremented by 5. Now, the control will come again here. It will check 5 is less than equal to 5. Now, in this case, some of people get confused that the result should be false. That is 5, the result of 5 less than equal to 5 should be false, as 5 is not less than 5. But we have to look carefully look at here that the operator is less than equal to. That means, as the name suggests, the operand given here should be less than, or it should be equal to the operand on the right side. Since 5 is not less than equal to 5, sorry, since the 5 is not less than 5, but it is equal to 5, hence this condition will evaluate to true, hence the value of 5 will be printed, and here it will be incremented by 1. Now the value of I is 6 in this case. The program will come here again. Now this time 6 is less than equal to 5. Now this thing is false. Hence, the loop will be terminated and the program will come to the next line, that is line 5. Since we don't have any further program written here, hence the code will end here. So that's how we are getting numbers printed from 1 to 5. Now we can also modify our program where we can give the limit value as a user input. For example, we can do that by following. We can say num equals int, and then we will take the input. We will take the input here. We can say enter the limit or the last number, and here we have to put the condition as I is less than equal to now. Now if I run this program, here Python is prompting us to enter a number. For example, if I say 10, then our while loop will print numbers starting from 1 to 10. That is our defined limit. Similarly, we can also give another numbers. For example, if I run this and let us say 6, then here we can see that we are getting numbers from 1 to 6. Now further modifications in our program can be done to have different types of functionalities. For example, if you want to print only the even numbers defined in the limit, that is from I and num. So we can use that if statement for having that functionality. We can say if I percentage 2 equals 0, then do this. So we have to give an integration in order to bring it in the if statement. So what we are saying is here, if the remainder, if I divided by 2 is 0, then print it, else do nothing. And the program will print only the values that are even. So now let us run it. Suppose if we say 10, here we can see that we are getting only even numbers as 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So this is how we use while loop in Python. Now one thing to keep in mind that you have to design your while loop in such a way that the condition defined here, that is here, should become false at some point. Else the while loop will become an infinite loop. For example, if I say here I equals to I minus 1 instead of I equals I plus 1. Now if I run the program here and let us say we give a value of 5 and press enter. Here we can see that the program is continuously running and it is not terminating. This will result into an infinite loop. So here we have to program, basically stop the program by ourselves. So we can say Control plus C. So what happened is that the whole ID got stuck due to the infinite loop, and I have to start the whole ID from starting. So we have to be careful that the while loop that we are creating, it should not be a infinite loop. Hence, the condition defined in here should be somehow be false at some point. Else, it will result into a for loop. Oh, sorry, it will result into an infinite loop, which will cause the whole program to hang. So that is we have to keep in mind. Now you might be wondering that we have a for loop and a while loop, which are basically doing the same thing. That is repeating the instructions defined in the body. So what is the difference between them, or which one we have to use, or which one is better? So it basically depends on the functionality or the application that we are having, that if we have to use while loop or for loop. In some applications, using the while loop makes the program much simpler and easy to read, while in some cases using the for loop makes the program more easy and easy to read. Although there is a one difference between the while loop and the for loop. For example, in while loop, the number of iterations are not clear. It is only clear that after this condition or the defined condition become false, the execution or the looping has to stop. So we can use while loop in such cases where the number of iterations is not defined, but the conditions at which the iteration will stop is defined. While in case of for loop, the number of iterations is defined. Hence, we can use for loop in the cases where the number of iterations are known and will not change with the program. So this is all about while loop in Python, and I think I will end the video here. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.